Cain slew Abel. Noel Gallagher of those Britpop heroes Oasis has disclosed the crucial role played by fruit in the breakup of the band.
Who threw the plum?
Oh, he threw the plum. He's on record as saying that the idea of getting Oasis back together would make him vomit.
Oasis were one of the best-selling bands Britain's ever produced, and they were courted by New Labour. But the Gallagher brothers were also known for off-the-field tensions, only equalled in modern times by the players of their beloved Manchester City. The Newsnight audience is all about arcane rock and roll disputes, goodness knows. But just in case not everyone's up to speed on Noel Gallagher and his testosterone-fueled relations with his brother Liam, think of the pugnacious, ageing British artists Jake and Dinos Chapman, only with guitars. No? Well then, think of Ed and David Miliband, only with guitars. After one too many fights, Oasis are no more. The plum that Liam Gallagher threw at his brother, allegedly, may be the most important piece of fruit and veg in rock since Derek Smalls of Spinal Tap got busted going through an airport X-ray scanner with a contraband cucumber. Noel Gallagher is now front and centre as the singer-songwriter of his new outfit, the High Flying Birds. Is it right that Radio 1 aren't playing you? Yeah.
It's because I'm 44. I understand all that. I've had my go at Radio 1, do you know what I mean? I'm cool with that. But I'm not expecting any favours off anybody, you know, but apparently it is a policy.
Most of their DJs are older than you. Moylesy must be pushing 50.
Are we going to get much of a sugar rush from a sausage baguette?
I don't think he's that old. No. I think he's actually younger than me. But I don't really have a problem with it, do you know what I mean? Because with the internet has really made radio obsolete in a way.
Noel, what do you think of the coalition government?
When the election came around, I don't recall there being a coalition government on the bill where you went to vote. So I'm a bit offended by it, to be honest, because really, if they were going to form a coalition government, they should have had a re-election and see how many people voted for a coalition government. Nobody voted for this, you know, Conservative, Liberal, Democrat nonsense that's going on. But really, running up to the last election, I wasn't, on the night of it, I wasn't going to vote until my wife said, well, you've got to vote, you know. And I've got to say, it's the first time I've picked the most ludicrous thing on the list, because...
Who was that?
I think some guy was standing as a pirate. Everybody was going to dress as a pirate. And there's nothing cooler than a pirate. I mean, Keith Richards is a pirate. Johnny Depp. What's cooler than that? But the Labour Party have managed, prove themselves to be just as sleazy and horrible as we all know the Conservatives are. There's nothing left to vote for anymore.
Now, what about the riots this summer?
Yeah.
Including in Manchester.
I was a bit embarrassed because I was doing promo after this, and everybody around Europe was asking the same question about the riots, and you're just like, well, what about it? It's like it's hardly the French Revolution, was it? It's like, you know, it wasn't politically motivated. You know, it wasn't particularly against anything. It's like, you know, what do they want? Leisure wear. When do we want it? Now, you know what I mean? It was all for tellies and all that. But the most embarrassing thing was, it's like, there was a guy on one of the news channels, because live to a gang of lads in Manchester, or one of them's wearing a mask and sunglasses, and he's got a bottle of whiskey in his hand. All he could say was, you get me, and in it, and like, you know, and he was saying, it's payback for the police.
For the feds.
For the police. And this guy was saying, why? And he's saying, because he arrests you for, like, stupid things. Like what? Like what? For dressing like a mushroom? What? What do you mean they arrest you for stupid things? It's not Faulty Towers. They arrest you for breaking the law, as I understand it, you know. When I was growing up, we were the working class and we were the lowest. There's a level underneath that now. They can't be bothered working class, you know what I mean? And they've grown into a culture of benefits. and all that. But there's many reasons for those riots, but there is no excuse. But, you know, if you're constantly bombarding young people with a lifestyle on 24-hour television that they can't have, magazines for girls with £2,000 handbags in, and, you know, X Factor and all this kind of celebrity lifestyle, which is frankly what all young people want. You constantly bombard them with that and then give them no hope of ever getting it. And then, you know, a few of them get together and they're like, we put Curry's windows through, you know, at least we'll get a couple of tellies out of it. You know, you can't expect them not to behave like animals, you know, when they're kind of uneducated like animals. Do you know what I mean?
We have got the language of Shakespeare, the history of Winston Churchill, the music of McCartney, Jagger, Coldplay.
Did you see David Cameron in the States the other week launching a kind of rebranding exercise? It did have shades of Cool Britannia. Can that kind of stuff ever work, in your view and from your experience?
There are all those terms, like putting the great back into Britain and let's get Britain working and all that. They're just vague one-liners to appease the people on the news channels. They don't mean anything, do you know what I mean? They don't mean anything. It all boils down to basic human values in the end, and if you don't give people work and if you don't educate them, society crumbles. That's the end. That's it. You know, you can do as much for businesses and small businesses and, you know, loophole tax and this, that and the other. It really all comes down to basic human needs, work and education. And if you've got that, people have respect for themselves and respect for each other, eventually.
You can't fight the feeling. Noel Gallagher's solo record comes with less baggage, political and other, than some of his earlier work. And that's just fine by him.
I was never a child prodigy or anything. I was never pushed in one direction. It's happened gradually for me, and I never set myself any targets. I was always just really going along with it to see how long it lasted before somebody said, "You're an absolute charlatan, get out." And I'd have gone, "Thanks for that, but anyway, it's been great. Bye."